Hello everyone. Thank you for joining for workshop on leadership through partnership and collaboration on AstraZeneca. The workshop is divided into two sessions. The first session will start at 9:30 a.m. with opening remarks by Alex Warburton. From 9:45 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., we would have discussion on valuing our partnership through continent, and the main area which we will be covering in this discussion are: first, main principles underlying AstraZeneca's business model; second, the role of partnership; and third, diversification in partnering strategy. From 10:30 a.m. to 11 a.m., we would be conducting free association activity, and there would be a tea break between 11 and 11:30. From 11:30 to 12:30, there would be another session on cooperation creates synergy, which we would be covering common achievements and development perspectives. After that, there would be a lunch break from 12:30 to 1:15. The second session starts at 1:15, which would be activity session on sharing management wisdom. After that, there would be another session starting at 2:45 to 4 p.m., which would be on revaluing our partnership, followed by group feedback, and then closing by Alex Warburton. What we now see on the screen is the Tuckman's model. When we start our session, all of the delegates and participants would be at the forming stage, and as we go along, we would be our delegates and our participants would be moving from forming to storming to norming, performing, and at the end of the session, they would be at adjourning stage. The purpose of this workshop is to bring together knowledge and experience of people driving AstraZeneca's current development, to share ideas and come up with a new understanding of how to value partnership and how they are achieving leadership on the global market of medicines. The workshop will support in revaluing AstraZeneca's partnership strength and potential for improvement, inspiring participants to share common vision of future development of company's partnership, and achieving closer collaboration and cooperation between AstraZeneca's strategic center located across the continents as well as representative office all across the globe. Participants and location. The choice of participants was based on research of AstraZeneca's partnering strategies, and the main objective was to involve those who are engaged in realizing partnering relationships and have best knowledge of strengths and weaknesses in this area, which is relevant to expert power. One of the most important criteria was their possible contribution to solution of problems to which workshop is dedicated. The choice of workshop location was based on the principle of cost effectiveness. Therefore, we have decided to hold a workshop in Cambridge, UK, where AstraZeneca has a head office and where most of the participants work. To contribute to perspective of developing partnerships, we have decided to engage in the workshop a representative from AstraZeneca's China offices, which are considered to have greatest growth potential as per AstraZeneca's investment presentation. We are now moving on budget section of this presentation. The total budget of this workshop is 33,900, and out of which majority of would be spent on international transportation. Moving further, this is the breakdown of international transportation, and here we are spending 24,558 pounds on transporting our international delegates to AstraZeneca's head office. This is the further breakdown of our budget on accommodation expenses, entertainment expenses, AstraZeneca's venue cost. This is the overhead cost, which we have factored different expenses like cleaning, electricity, heating, water, and other printout and other expenses. Moving further, the session starts on valuing our partnership through continent. In this session, we're gonna discuss what our business model is, what we do, how do we make money, what the purpose is, and what our values are. We are also going to discuss what are the business principles of AstraZeneca, and we are also discussing here the building global business through continents. Our global AstraZeneca's global presence gives an advantage for our partnership relations. Moving on further, here we are discussing the valuing of our partnerships and partnering for scientific leaderships. 240 of major strategically important business development transactions have happened over past 3 years, which is due to our different relationships with our partners and different collaborations with different organizations. 850 relationships globally to access the best science to stimulate innovation and accelerate the delivery of medicine to target unmet medical needs. These are really good statistics which shows that how AstraZeneca is striving towards getting out in terms of getting more from their partners and creating value in their partnerships with different partners. Diversification of partnerships. The partners of AstraZeneca's are academia, government, industry, scientific organization, and patent groups. All these partners have significant influence and they are linked to the development of AstraZeneca's business. What we are trying to achieve here is that how we can capitalize our business, how we can capitalize our relationship with these partners. We can increase early stage research transactions and academic alliances with academias, explore value creating peer to peer collaborations, pursue in partnering in licensing and acquisitions to strengthen our different areas of portfolios, and this is linked to our externalizations, business combinations, acquisitions and in licensings, research collaborations and out licensings as well. Moving further, here we are discussing our ethical values. We focus on the two key areas that drive our ethical business practices, which is compliance and working with suppliers. And definitely, our ethical values have a really great influence in our partnership with different organizations and different businesses. Continuing on ethical values, we are focusing on different efforts from compliances to different stakeholders, from risk management to fair and objective investigations, ethical compliances, trainings and support, and proper clear communications of different policies. Now we are conducting here free association activity. The objective of this activity is that what people are thinking, what the similarities are, what the differences in the views are, what the problem which needs a further discussions that is gonna come out of this activity. How are we gonna do that? We're gonna give them a word partnerships, then 2 minutes for them to list down the words or the thoughts, and then further discussions on what they have listed down, what they think, what the similarities are, what the differences are. The session here starts at cooperation, which creates synergy, common achievement, and development partnerships and perspectives. Here we are partnering with different organizations, and we have listed here what are the key takeaways and the key highlights of this partnerships, of this combinations with the different organizations. Moving on to externalization, AstraZeneca's management is focused on returning the group to the growth, and they are not taking any chances for this. Indeed, as a part of group's drive to return to the growth, AstraZeneca has signed a number of externalizations, or we can say it as a joint venture or partnership deals with other pharma groups. These deals have two goals. Firstly, they allow AstraZeneca to benefit from the experience of other pharma group, as they say, right? That two brains are better than one. And secondly, by using externalization deals, AstraZeneca is hedging its bets. Additionally, the company can develop more new drugs than it would be able to if they were working alone. Here we are presenting our markets and our operations across the globe. Moving on further, the questions for the discussions. In this session, we're gonna discuss this questions outline that what are the important achievements of the AstraZeneca and how they add value to the company. What are the valuation criteria we use to value the partnerships, to value business combinations, to value joint ventures, and what are the weaknesses of the current partnering strategies. Here, after the launch, we're gonna have a session on sharing management wisdom, which is an activity session. The objective of this session is to share experience in management between members of the range of experiences and identify important wisdoms in managing people. How? We're going to form group based on management experiences, and then they're going to share wisdom points and discuss them. This is further procedural step on how this activity is going to run. We're going to form a group, divide workshop participants into the age based on their experiences, then explain the rule and the task, then they're going to discuss, they're going to share, there would be a widening sharing, then followed by debriefing, and then we would continue to debrief the wisdom shared. Moving on further, in this session, we are discussing how to revalue our partnership, achieving through effective collaborations. We are brainstorming here. Do we really get most out of our partnership? Do we have to manage partnership differently depending on where we are on the life cycle of our partnership? And what we can learn from companies in or outside our own industry sectors? This chart here represents the alliance life cycle, which can be segmented into five distinct phases starting from initiations to the last stage of controlled exit, natural decline, or reinventions of these alliances. Each of the phases is really important to enable the success of the partnership. And this is the best practice summary of the partnership for the strategic alliances to succeed in the need to design, plan, manage each phase along of the alliance's life cycle. And here we have listed the references which I have used in my presentation. Finally, concluding here, I would like to thank you for joining in this presentation and thank you for your patience and hearing me throughout of this presentation.